Hello, can you hear me clearly? Is it just wait a little bit until anyone comes? Okay. Okay, so let's start. Welcome to this new live on the High Atlas Foundation page. This live is a part of the month of life we're doing. Hello, Ajiba. How are you doing? So yeah, it's we're doing a month of life, and today it's me. I would like to introduce myself first, and we'll go through several points I'd like to deal with. Then I'm going to talk about the main topic, and if you have any questions or salut Karan, or about at the end I'm going to talk a little bit about my master thesis. So let's start. Um, my name is Leo. I am 23 years old. Hi, Said. And I am volunteering for HAF for about 4 months now. Actually, I had to leave Morocco since because of the pandemic and the situation there, and here also in France. But I'm glad I'm going back to business here and greeting all of you. Um, okay, so I'm Leo. I'm 23 years old, and I'm also a student at the University of Caen. I have a bachelor in foreign applied language, and also I'm doing a master degree here in sustainable development, and more especially in project management. Um, I was I was and I am still volunteering for HAF. Um, this is part of my master degree. I had to do an internship abroad, so I chose this wonderful NGO. Um, no kidding, this is really a great NGO, where I got to know many very interesting people and with very different backgrounds. So, um, where am I going to start? So I arrived in Morocco in end of January and started my internship in February. There, I got to know really quickly the president, Mr. Youssef, with who I went on a field trip on the on the very second day, and it was really interesting because we went to Demnat, which is the northeast, I guess. Correct me if I'm wrong. Northeast from Marrakesh. And there we met the local population. We met also the people involved in a project that is going to happen. And this project is the creation of a tree nursery um, in a old cemetery, old Jewish cemetery, because there used to be many Jewish people there. Thank you, Julie. Um, so yeah, the project is to build this tree nursery on a very old and abandoned cemetery. So with Mr. Youssef, we met the local population and also the the former Jewish community, which is still coming there to commemorate their ancestors. We also talked a little bit with the mayor and the janitor of the cemetery. I don't know if I can call this a janitor. I don't know, but still. So yeah, it was very interesting as an interface project, and we could see all these interest in the cultural life of the village, because there will be um, a small temple built for the Jewish community to commemorate their ancestors, and also on the ecological aspect, because the tree nursery is going to grow trees so that they don't have to transport trees from very further north or from another place to plant in a school or with farmers, for instance. So yeah, that was my very first field trip. Very interesting and special one. Um, most of my time there at half, I was documenting these field trips, and I went to a cooperative, an apple vinegar cooperative in the Middle Atlas Mountains. I guess it's in Anugal, and it was very first. It was awesome. The landscape was very beautiful, and the people there involved in this project are very interested in interesting. Um, this project is an apple vinegar cooperative, which involves many women, 15, 15 women, and oh, sorry, and all of these women didn't have any job before. They were mostly working from home, working at home, caring about the children, and so on. And yeah, this gave them the opportunity to work, and also to have different revenue than their husband, for instance. So I visited this apple vinegar factory, which is very brand new, has lots of high-tech systems and appliances. Um, and yeah, so that was another part of my job, this cooperative business. And but most of my time I was spending it in schools, where I went with the project managers or other volunteers. There I assisted to the workshops that aim at raising awareness on ecology, global warming, and the tree planting, for instance. Basically, we went to both high school and no, we went to high school, middle school, and primary school. But the things we're teaching there is very different from another school from another. Uh, we won't teach the same things to a 5-year-old kid than to a teenager or grown up. So yeah, I was assisting to these workshops, and it was very interesting to see how much young Moroccans knew about climate change, about tree planting, and also, yeah, everything they were very involved in those activities. They were it's kind of breath of air for their daily lives, their daily routine. Yeah. So my job at half was to talk about those topics I went to, um, the cooperative, the interfaith projects, the school raising awareness, and I was my aim is to represent the best I can the atmosphere there, how kid kids react to what we're teaching them, how are the teachers involved, how what kind of effort do in the school for the the fight against global warming. For instance, many schools have solar panels, and some are growing fruits and vegetables uh, within their buildings. Yeah. So that's what I'm doing, and also, yeah, that's that's it. So going back to the main topic today, which is encouraging the pupils' creativity, is a sustainable lever to a more sustainable future. That's based on an article I wrote for half a few months ago. And basically, I'm going to talk a little bit about two schools I visited during this time. The first one, which is in Morocco, in Marrakesh. It's based on the outskirts of Marrakesh. And this is the school Mohammed El Jabiri El Dar es Salaam. Maybe some of you know about it, but okay, so I went to this school with Iman and Julie, um, and we met this biology teacher. I'm sorry, I don't remember her name, but she was very involved in the creativity process of helping the students to think by themselves. She was basically telling us that she gives her students uh, homeworks that they could do at home or in class besides after the class, and she is basically structures that they have to build that are related to the human body or irrigation systems or anything they are learning in biology. And I took in picture some examples if you'd like to see on my article. I'll send the link in the comments. But for instance, they created um, out of cardboard a fertilization process to see how it works. Um, I think this is very important here. That's a very important point here in Morocco because fertilization is and also irrigation are very important for the agriculture here. Also, another project was this human jawbone that they built. I don't know how out of what they made it, but still, it's very interesting to see this. I remember that she told us that a kid once brought back a dog jawbone uh, that could help science. I don't know. I hope in no law has been broken. Um, so yeah, they're doing this on their free time, and I think it was noteworthy because in schools today the creativity isn't very encouraged by teachers. Another example of schools I went to, which encourages creativity, is the Saada Secondary School. I went there with Zineb and I don't, and maybe Hajiba, I don't remember. Um, there we met the head of the environmental club of the school, and she showed us around, and then I saw a few kids working on creating guitars out of cardboard, which was really impressive. They looked really realistic. Um, and she showed us a room that was filled of those cardboards, guitars, music instruments, or also animals. And basically everywhere in the school there were those sculptures made by the pupils, and they were really proud of it. So yeah, really impressed by what they've done. Another thing is they created a garden, which is pretty unusual for a school. Um, the pupils were attempting to grow vegetables. To they were doing it from scratch, so they were learning from their mistakes. I think they were growing lentils, um, chickpeas, beans, and so on. But the teachers helped them, and they make progress. They implemented the drop by drop system and so on. So yeah, so this all boils down to one thing. I think creativity is what they can use to adapt to every very different climates. I'm sorry for the lights. It's getting dark here. Uh, yeah, it's very practical to adapt to a new climate because of the climate change. The poorest countries, or at least the driest, will have to adapt way more than the richest countries. So creativity is an asset to this. Moreover, encouraging creativity um, can encourage the students, the pupils, to go to college, to to reach higher education levels, to maybe to become an engineer, help the local population. Because in Morocco, at least in the rural areas, most of the children help their parents farming, and it is a very good help for them, but it won't help them in the future when there will be even more droughts, lack of water, and so on. Um, Another thing is that when you're a child, when you're a teenager, maybe not a teenager, but a child, I'd say that you don't judge people as much as adults do. You do not fear to fail, and then creativity is all about failing. It's all about trying to experience something. Um, so that's a really good point to adapt a different climate. Um, Another thing is, uh, well, I know that the recycling business is getting really huge, and many European countries, many uh, American states, and probably even China send their garbage to the African continent. I don't know about the situation in Morocco, but in many states, in many countries in Africa, this has been very important to to be creative with what we have, and using the scraps of materials to build another thing, which we can, which is called now upcycling. That's basically recycling, but on a better level. Um, yeah, these electrical appliances, um, those those shirts, those clothes, and so on that are sent away from Europe and from the US can be a really good resource, even though it doesn't appear as a really good resource at the first sight. But creativity can be a solution to this. I know that we can build uh, wind turbines out of this. We can build bikes, repair bikes. We can do anything. Um, yeah, so now I'm gonna talk a little bit about my master thesis. If someone has any question before. No? Okay, I'm gonna keep going. So, when I was in Morocco, I was also working with half on my master thesis, which the topic which I changed a lot before setting, setting it is dealing with community-based uh, the community-based agriculture, and also how it is distributed, um, how the producers, the farmers can sell their products, which are I'm interested in. I'm very interested um, in organic products. How can they sell them to have a differentiation by quality, by value to the others? So I took, for instance, for example, the AMAP example in France. Uh, if you don't know what an AMAP is, the acronym AMAP uh, stands for Association pour le maintien d'une agriculture paysanne, which is basically an association for sustainable farming. Yeah, as I would translate it. And this network is very popular in France. Um, it has been popularized through to 2 decades since the 2000s, and now many people use it. I didn't see any such network here in Morocco. So I was interested in how the producers of organic products distribute it, how they sell it. So I contacted some les souks, the souks, agroecological souks, and it is a very different way because in the souk, like in the marketplace, basic marketplace in Morocco, many, the majority of people sell products that come from gross sellers. Uh, Even though Morocco is really a huge country in terms of agriculture, and there are so many small farmers, small agriculture fields, that it's a shame that they are not really um, promoted. Uh, Morocco has always been exporting a lot, and now it's trying to get back to its old agricultural system and trying to empower the small scale farmers. So yeah, and I would like to talk about another solution to this, which is the urban agriculture. Um, Basically, what urban agriculture is the agriculture when you're using the space available in cities. For instance, you can go and plant vegetables on the top of the buildings. You can use gardens. You can use parks. You can use anywhere that where there's space available, and this space that is unused can globally, on a world scale, contribute to 10% of our needs. So not that's a decent help if you want to provide food to big cities and so on. Maybe it would be more useful for the citizens from the cities, but still, um, like for instance, um, the hydroponic system can be used because it doesn't need a lot of water, even though its name is hydroponic, because the salads, or mostly they are leafy vegetables that are grown by hydroponics. They they need a minimal amount of water which flows around, and by adding nutrients, it is easier to grow leafy vegetables on a small scale and without any ground, which is very adapted to to those top roof farming systems. Yeah, and I'd like to conclude with the fact that Morocco has always been very creative, because when you have such an environment which is very dry, there are many droughts. Um, the farmers had to adapt to this climate, and they established many ways to bring water to the cultures, as for instance the khatara, if I'm pronouncing it right. Um, the khatara are those tunnels which are built to bring the river flow to the cultures. Um, to the so to bring the water to the crops, the khatara is a so the tunnel is powered by wells which are dig above it, and then the water can flow on a different on a different way. I'm not an engineer, I don't know how to explain it. Yeah. I think that's gonna be it. So if you have any question, I'd be glad to answer. If not, then I'm gonna end this live. Um, Thank you all for watching, and if you have any question, just ask in the comments. In the comment zone, I'd be glad to answer it. Um, so yeah, bye.